tell me, what is AgentMethods and who is it for?
So we make marketing software for independent insurance agents. And so our customers are your in the US only. We only sell to agents in the US, but it's like your local insurance agent, Main Street agent, or the person that you buy life or health insurance from. And they are the term independent is an important thing because that means they don't work for an insurance company.
Mm.
They have a problem because of regulation, because they're independent. The insurance companies have very strict rules around what they can do to support them.
Okay.
So they can't provide them with much in terms of marketing materials or client generation materials, websites, email, stuff like that. So they have to do it on their own. And these people are salespeople. They're not web designers. They're not marketers. They're not copywriters. And so our platform helps them do all of that.
And what's the origin story? Like, how did you, of all fields, did you work in insurance? Do you have a background in insurance? How did you come up with the idea? How did you come across the problem initially?
I was consulting. And so I started my career working for one of the biggest ad agencies in the US and went off and started doing consulting on website development. And I got one client that was an insurance company. And this is how it goes with consulting, right? You get one, and then somebody left and went to another company and brought me with. And then somebody left there and brought me with. And then I woke up one day and all of my clients were insurance companies. And I didn't plan on that happening, but it's sort of just a space I fell into. And I was working with one of those companies, and their head of marketing asked me this question, which is, this work that you're doing for us, because of all these rules, we can't do it for our agents, but they really need it. Do you know of anybody who can help our agents with their online marketing and kind of run that for them? And I, of course, said no. And went back to work. And then the next morning I woke up and was like, wait a second. And so I called him up and asked if I had this solution, would he bring it to his agents? And his response was, when can we schedule the webinar with him? And so we pushed it out like 90 days, give me 90 days about the simplest, most rudimentary, we call it an MVP now, just like duct tape and chewing gum version. And 90 days later, we did a webinar and brought on 7 clients.
Wow. Off that first webinar.
Session. Yeah.
Wow. And then you were off to the races after that. Is that how did you get your first 100 customers? How did you go from 7 to 100?
Yeah. So 0 to 7 was really easy. 7 to 100 was slower. I think about this a lot with SaaS, especially funded SaaS. There's like such an urgency to get to 100 and to grow fast. And we hear a lot about the rocket ships that take off and get to $25 million in revenue in 7 months. Just these insane stories. I think those are the minority. The majority is just kind of a slow simmer, and that's how it was for us. It was we just picked up a client or two here or there over time, and I don't know when we crossed 100. I don't remember how fast it was, but it wasn't because of any kind of magic trick. It was because we just were in the market, provided a service that people needed, and as we got more exposure, we got more signups.
Do you think a lot of founders, because you see a lot of the same ideas getting rebuilt and rebuilt and rebuilt, everyone's just trying to build a better mousetrap, and it sort of feels like there are lots of other industries, lots of other problems that could be solved and need to be solved, but nobody's building solutions for them, and everyone's kind of competing to build another photo sharing app or another, yet another social network or yet another Me Too kind of what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, there's so many like consumery kind of ideas. I get all these people call me up and say, I have this idea where you can go in restaurants, you can get on the waiting list using your cell phone. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but it's not it's not a big problem that people are going to pay a lot of money for. And I think that we're drawn to problems that are in our own space. Sort of like the whole scratching your own itch. That's a phrase we hear, right? Scratch your own itch. I think most of the itches that are related to like software development or kind of entrepreneurialism are very well scratched at this point, and to the point where they might be kind of raw. And if you touch them, it's going to hurt. So I don't think it's like, that's not to me a good mantra today. Like scratching your own itch can be fun. It can be inspiring, but there's lots of big problems to solve in less sexy businesses if you go out and look. And I don't think you have to be an insider. You don't have to come from that industry to do it. You just have to spend the time to learn what pains they face. Every industry, there's tons of unsolved problems to tackle. There's tons of pain to go and solve, but we just have to go and look beyond kind of where we're at.